Well, for a second straight day now, New York State reported a new record when it comes to testing. Almost 220,000 people were tested for COVID-19. Let's take a look here locally. More long lines across the city at clinics and health and hospital locations. Good news, though, if you want to avoid the lines, the city is now tweeting out the wait times. You get a heads up there. Let's give you the latest look at our numbers. New cases have passed 8,000. Hospitalizations are ticking back up, similar to numbers we saw here back in the spring. I want to go out to Chris Glorioso live in Charleston, Staten Island, and that's an orange zone, Chris, where COVID is pretty much top of mind.
Well, the positivity rate here on Staten Island is 4.4%, and the Bronx and Queens not far behind, both with positivity rates well over 3%. That is why the mayor is asking more and more people to get tested at testing sites like this one. This is a rapid COVID testing site that's just finishing up for the day. The wait times here were between 1 and 2 hours today. But as you mentioned, with the city tweeting out those wait times, it allowed people to plan and maybe even bring something to pass the time. It's not how Keith Connolly wanted to spend his Friday, but he's making the most of it, studying for the SAT while waiting in line for a rapid COVID test.
I have a race tomorrow, actually, and you need to get COVID tested for it.
Keith needs a negative result to run in that outdoor high school track meet. As for indoor classrooms, he doesn't know when he'll be back in one of those.
The urgency is to get our children, all of our children, back in the classroom and learning.
Louis Gellermino represents a group of parents now asking a federal judge to force Mayor de Blasio to reopen city schools for in-person learning.
The Catholic schools and the private schools have remained open through this. For some reason, they have figured it out.
De Blasio says he will announce details on a phased-in reopening next week. Teacher Kara Saunders told us background infection rates need to be kept low for her to feel comfortable in the classroom.
I think we need to choose. Let's either choose indoor dining or choose schools. And we need to choose schools.
As of now, indoor dining is open in New York City, except for the southern part of Staten Island, where orange zone restrictions mean only outdoor seating is okay. On Black Friday, many Staten Island shoppers who did venture out told us they gravitated to outdoor malls like the Empire Outlets. 89-year-old Marie Turner and her daughters told us they got COVID tests and felt comfortable hitting the shops.
We were a little afraid to come out on Black Friday with my mother, who's going to be 90, but we thought of this place. It's gorgeous here. It's beautiful.
Back in that COVID testing line, Mike Savitsky says he tested positive 2 weeks ago, and he's hoping to get a negative result today. But he's growing tired of restrictions. He applauded a ruling by the Supreme Court to invalidate New York's previous order banning religious gatherings exceeding 10 or 25 people.
We're men of God and women of God, and, this is our life. Let us have our freedom back, man. You know what I mean? This is America.
But of course, public health advocates continuing to beat the drum, asking people to beware of pandemic fatigue and try to stay vigilant. Two things to be aware of coming up next week. First, Mayor de Blasio is set to release more plans about how he intends to bring people back into in-person learning in public schools. And secondly, Governor Cuomo set to release more details about what he calls the winter plan, a way of better allocating and designating yellow, orange, and red zones, taking better account of hospitalization rates. For now, reporting live on Staten Island, Chris Glorioso, News 4, New York.
All right, Chris, thank you for the latest there. Let's go to New Jersey now, where we're getting some new information about the number of positive cases in the state. There are 4,100 new cases reported. Sadly, 19 more deaths. The state's positivity rate is now above 11%, but the number of people in the hospital, that actually went down. A total of 15,113 people in New Jersey have died from this virus. Now, the tighter restrictions on outdoor sports and other gatherings in the state are supposed to end on Monday. Earlier this month, Governor Murphy had lowered that outdoor gathering limit from 500 people to 150. So now we're trying to figure out if the outdoor gathering limit will go back to 500 people on Monday or if there will be a new limit put in place. Well, from Connecticut tonight, the state's positivity rate dropped slightly, but the COVID-19 hospitalizations are on the rise. More than 3,400 new cases were confirmed since Wednesday. And most of Connecticut still in that red alert zone, as you see here on your screen. That means that 15 or more people are infected for every 100,000 residents. Schools in Danbury taking part in a statewide pilot program that offers rapid testing for students, families, and staff. While schools are on remote learning, that free drive-through testing will be available by appointment only. That's at Danbury High School, Broadview, and Rogers Park Middle Schools. After students return to that in-person learning, those tests will be available to those who become sick in school.